So we just watched Avengers Endgame. This is the second time that I've watched it. We watched with essentially a packed crowd, and I wanted to get your initial thoughts on it. I've already put out a review. I want to get your thoughts on it. This is my dad, by the way. So what was your initial thoughts all 3 hours? Like, what did you think of the movie? Before we get into spoiler territory, what did you think of it?
I thought that the movie was awesome. I thought that it was set up perfect. It didn't like get ahead of itself, and it laid itself out on what needed to be. And some people might think the first part was a little boring, but I thought it was really good that they set the tone for the whole movie. And it was hard to see, really, for me to see how it was going to get where it got to, but
it's kind of unpredictable.
It was very unpredictable.
I think some stuff was predictable, but the stuff that was predictable was done awesomely.
Yes.
What do you think of the crowd? Because I think that's the first theater experience you've had with like nerds like that, and the way they audibly react to things.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been to a movie where the crowd was fun to be there with, and they were loud sometimes, but never when it really mattered. They picked their moments, and
the serious moments they calmed it down a little bit. But then some stuff would happen. They'd be like, you hear like the little nerd giggle.
I think some of them needed.
They were right behind us too.
They needed smacked a couple times, but they were okay.
Early on, the noise of the theater really bugged me because I watched it with 5 people the other night, and we were all solid. So early on, like just the noise of people fiddling with their straws and opening up candy. But then you go an hour into the movie. It's just, you don't even notice it. So, yeah, I enjoyed the theater experience, too.
I think those people knew a little bit too much about the whole series, where I was struggling to keep up with. They were like, it was...
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that you'd expect...
I think nerd's a good word.
I think you'd expect this movie to almost just be a direct sequel to last year's Infinity War. And it's almost a sequel to all 21 movies that came before it. Because now we're getting into spoiler territory. There's movies, there's references to movies in the MCU here that I didn't think we'd ever hear from again. Iron Man 3, which I don't even know if you've seen that. But when obviously Tony Stark's wife or girlfriend or whatever is in the iron suit at the end, that we haven't seen that since Iron Man 3 in 2013. What do you think of the Incredible Hulk in this movie? What did you think of that choice?
I liked it.
I like it. I think it's the best Hulk we've had.
It's about because the he's basically a useless superhero because he can't do anything constructive.
And now
he can just smash things. So he can't smash things quite as good as he used to.
But now he's using his brain.
He uses his brain.
Another one that I think will be divisive. Another character, a fan favorite. What do you think of what they did with Thor in this movie?
I'm okay with Thor.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
So you didn't think it was just like a one joke gag throughout the entire movie with him being like overweight and sort of depressed?
But when Thor needed to be Thor, he was Thor.
He didn't kick that much butt though. That's the thing. Like he did a little bit
everything.
at the end.
He done all that he would have ever done.
You know, the first time I watched it a couple days ago, what the route they took with Thor bugged me a little bit. It didn't bring the movie down for me, but I thought, is Thor just going to be a joke the whole movie? But the second time watching it, I found his story to be sort of relatable and tragic because you think about his life and everybody that in his life he's lost. Yeah. So he's going through a bit of a rough patch in this movie. You could almost say it's almost mental illness because the scene where they go back to Thor: The Dark World, he's having a panic attack. And I know it's played for laughs, but there's some serious stuff in the mix there.
I think that's who he is.
Yeah, I mean...
I think that he was overweight and he was duelist. He's a duelist character.
What's a duelist?
It means that he's in no control. He has no grasp.
He's not a great leader.
He's only right now. If he was really in charge, he would. They would all be dead in 5 minutes.
He's too goofy to be in charge. He's not like Captain America or Iron Man who have decent leadership. But
Thor, I don't think as far as like Thor, this Thor in these series, that's who he is. But I don't think that's who Thor really used to be. Thor used to be. He never was like a big thinker, but
time travel doesn't make sense. But I think watching the movie a second time, Bruce Banner, the Incredible Hulk, explains it a little better to me. Because by the end of this movie, Nebula should be dead. She should be dead, right? Because Nebula kills her older self. And if you look at, of course, Back to the Future, movies like that, when you do away with your past self, your current self is going to vanish, and she doesn't. But I think Bruce Banner explained that because he said the stuff that's happening now already exists, so you can't do away with it. And I guess that's a decent explanation.
Right.
But then you think about Captain America, the way he ends up at the end of the movie. So what did you think of Captain America's arc and where they chose to end the movie? Did you like? I think a lot of people predicted that's what he was going to do. Did you like what they did with that?
I thought that was completely reasonable, and that's kind of where he belongs.
Yeah. Well,
you know,
I always thought that she was really underused in this series. She's only in Captain America: The First Avenger, and then she had her show.
She didn't come with him.
She had her show Agent Carter, but it got canceled. So it was nice to see him live his life or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the big one is what do we think about Tony Stark's ultimate arc, Endgame arc here? Do we like what they did with Iron Man?
Yeah. Had to be. Somebody had to do it,
right?
Somebody had to do it, and
why not him?
And if he hadn't, he basically, it was the end run, and he had to save the world there, and he knew what he was going to do. I mean, it wasn't like played in it. He knew what he was going to do, and because the girl had him. If Thanos didn't have the stones, whatever, goofball,
yeah.
Evil one, didn't have the stones, the girl would kill him.
You're talking about Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel.
I don't know if he got the best of Captain Marvel because he used the stone there on Captain Marvel. But he did
without the stones.
Yeah, but he pulled that one stone out.
Because he was defeating Thor without the stones.
But yeah, Iron Man, I think after Doctor Strange gave him the little hint there and showed him one, that meant this is the one out of 14 billion or whatever it was. So I think after that, Iron Man knew what he had to do. And I thought it was a satisfying death because we've been watching these movies for 11 years and they don't like to. Only the Guardians movies usually take chances of killing off characters. So somebody important needed to die and it felt well earned.
Where he said the one chance.
Yeah.
But nobody knew that's what it was.
Doctor Strange knew.
Doctor Strange
say anything.
But none of us watching the movie had a clue what was going to happen.
You have to assume because this is the end, but it could end like Dower and everybody dies. You never know. You don't know. That's why the unpredictable nature kicks in right off the bat in the movie. I didn't expect Captain Marvel to be the one to save Nebula and Iron Man in space. I didn't expect them to immediately go to Thanos and decapitate him. Those were things that I didn't expect and taking place 5 years later.
Well, plus the timeline changed so much. Yeah. There was so many other things happen. So what else changed that we don't know?
Emotional. Did you think it was more emotional than Coco?
You need to rephrase that question.
Was it sadder than Coco?
You need to you need to find a different thing to compare it
I compare it to Coco because Coco is otherworldly emotional.
I'm not finding Coco that emotional.
Coco is devastating. Did you think this movie was emotional though?
No, it wasn't as emotional for me as it was for most of the people.
It was emotional for me.
I didn't really. I'm not that attached to these characters.
Yeah.
But I think that it was well played.
I think that this is the best we've seen Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
Oh yeah, I thought he was great.
I think he should get nominated for awards. Maybe even Chris Evans as Captain America.
Yes.
Because it was amazing. Okay. Yeah. I usually do
it's not Old Yeller.
The second time, just hearing the crowd, the way they reacted, it rubbed off on me a little bit.
The crowd reaction to all those scenes that were emotional was fantastic.
I gave the movie an A+. If you want to give it a letter grade or a score out of 10, you can.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
See, I'm not that good at that. So, what would be a 10?
I'd give this a 9.8 out of 10. Honestly, there's only a couple things that I didn't love, probably 5 minutes worth of 3 hours that I didn't love. So that's.
I can't. I'll probably agree with you. I don't remember what it was, so that tells you how insignificant it was at the time, and maybe I just didn't grasp at the time how important it was. But I would say, I would say at least 9.7 to 9.85.
9.85.
Yeah, 8.54 actually.
Yeah, okay.
9.854.
So we almost give it a 10 out of 10, even though I do give it an A+. I think a 9.8 is considered an A+.
Yes.
So that's our spoiler discussion.
No use to go see the movie now.
I'm pretty sure everybody that's watched this video has watched the movie, hopefully, or else you just spoiled a lot of. I think we covered most of the main grounds there. Yeah. It's literally the biggest movie ever made. I don't know how movies are going to be able to top this from here on out, but they'll try.
The tie-ins to all the different things, and a lot of which I might not have grasped.
It ties into literally every other movie.
There was so many people there that didn't caught that. It almost had too many tie-ins.
And the tie-ins to I like the tie-ins to Winter Soldier with the Hail Hydra stuff. What do you think of Captain America being able to pick up Thor's hammer?
And I thought that was the coolest
thing
in the whole movie.
It was great.
He put his hand out.
And the way he was swinging it, I think that fight between Captain America and Thanos right there is the best fight in the movie.
I believe on more equal grounds he could have taken.
And Captain Marvel was great. Was this better than Alita, Battle Angel, or worse?
Alita, Battle Angel, while she is a cool character, that movie was like ridiculously poor, and I was so disappointed that I can't say enough to speak bad of it.
We didn't get a lot of Captain Marvel in this, but whenever she showed up at the end, the audience applauded. So that shows that
we were waiting for her to come. I mean, like, because she said she'd be gone for a long time.
That's the thing with Captain Marvel. Despite internet trolls, the general population loves that character. Oh, she shows up and like demolishes that ship, and the audience was just applauding.
And
she's awesome.
She's the best.
She's better than Alita.
So yes, was all of the Avengers and everybody in the movie?
Everybody was like, I think every character that was ever in the MCU was in this movie. That's our thoughts. Let us know. Hopefully you've seen the movie and you didn't spoil it for yourself, but let us know. Let us know if you enjoyed this type of review. It's the first time we've done this.
All right. It's been great.
Let us know. Hit that subscribe button, and thank you for watching.